Greg and I played in the Spingold this summer. We had an upset win in the round of 64, and we drew a very good team in the round of 32, which included Nystrom and Upmark, a very good Swedish pair. And unfortunately, Greg got very sick and ended up in the hospital. But fortunately, my good friend Ankur Rathi was supposed to go home later that day, but was able to rearrange his flight and was able to sub in. So we played all day and came very close to beating this team. Ankur and I have been talking for a while about this leveling up program and what he can do to level up his game. He's a very good player, but, we're all looking to get better. And so we thought this would be a great opportunity to look at this from his perspective as an opportunity to go over what happened in this really high level event, playing with someone who works as a coach and a teacher. And so Ankur has generously agreed to join me and make a few videos here as we talk about what the event was like for him and what some of his takeaways and learning points were. Ankur, welcome. Let's just start with, what was this experience like for you?
It definitely came as a surprise. It's funny because I actually subbed in for the team earlier in the first day of the Spingold. And I thought, wow, this is such an amazing experience to play with this amazing team, because one of your other teammates, their flight had been delayed. When you messaged me that morning, you're like, can you sub today? I was like, okay, stop messing with me, Adam. I've never played in day 3 of the Spingold. It was behind screens, which is always fun. I had been in day 3 of the LMs earlier in the tournament, and so I got to play behind screens twice in one tournament. That's the first time I can say that. So it was truly very educational, and I feel like I learned a lot, and we're going to go through some of those learnings, but it was also just a lot of fun. One takeaway I definitely had, which was very motivating, is, hey, I belong here. I made mistakes, and there's definitely a lot that I can do to improve and level up. But it's not like I just totally didn't belong or was just totally outplayed. I had some good boards too. I had some boards where I made decisions better than a professional. That was really, really, oh man, I need to get back here. This is where the real bridge is happening. So that was very motivating for me personally.
I think that's a great takeaway. These top events are just so much fun. And all the times I didn't play in them, I'm just going to the Nationals and not playing in the Spingold or the Vanderbilt or the Risinger. It's just why? Why am I going? If I could go back and tell myself that, 10, 15 years ago, I would be a better bridge player. So to all of you out there who are looking to level up your game, everyone will say play with and against the best that you can, but it's just absolutely true. And there's nothing like the Spingold, the Risinger, the Platinum pairs, right? These are just the best of the best. So we've gone through most of the hands together. Ankur did a very thorough review of all of the hands himself, and then the two of us got together and talked about the ones that he identified. It's funny, we had talked about maybe doing this in the fall, and Ankur hiring me as a coach to play in an event and talk through it, right? And then he got the best deal in bridge that, okay, well, now he's doing me a favor filling in, and we get to do this analysis and see what his game is like and what he needs to work on. So I hope it's really useful and educational for you, Ankur. But I think it's going to be for everyone watching as well. And one of the takeaways that I come away with, and I think Ankur comes away with, and I hope all of you do as well, is just the importance of a coach. That person that you can go to and say, what did I do wrong? How should I have thought about this differently? Why did I get this wrong? When we talked about these hands after Ankur had gone through himself, there were a lot of ones where there was an issue that you hadn't even noticed. Or, oh, I thought that I did this wrong. No, actually, you did it right. And doing that post-mortem on your own is super, super important. But there are a lot of times where you need to ask a question and you don't even know what the question is. Or you don't know to ask the question because you don't even see it. We're going to look at hands that we thought were really educational. It's going to be a great way to help you level up your game and just see what's involved in that. And this is board 3. How are you feeling at this point?
I was very nervous on the first board, and then the second board, you had a good board. And so I was feeling pretty good, actually. I had settled in. I felt like, oh man, we had a good board against this like really good pair. Let's go get them. So I was actually feeling pretty excited at this point.
Yeah.
Like nerves had settled, and I was like, felt like okay, kind of in a groove. Like let's
Yeah.
go.
Here's the board in question. So I opened 3 hearts, and under a lot of pressure, West bid 3 no trump.
Right.
4 hearts seems very normal. And now East bid 5 spades. So clearly 5 spades is a slam try. You're sitting there with Queen Jack 5th of spades and the Ace Queen of hearts. What was your thinking?
I'm trying to put myself back in the mindset of where I was then, because I look at it now and I'm like, what was I thinking? I think my thought process at the time was, I don't think 5 spades is making. I'm going to go get them. It didn't occur to me that they would have a place to run. And I just felt like they stepped in it, and we're going to take them for 2 or 500 here pretty easily.
Yeah, I mean, the idea of a preempt is you want to make your opponents make a hard decision at an uncomfortably high level. And then when they make a mistake, which even really good players are going to make a double dummy mistake all the time, you do want to be able to take advantage of that and punish it. So it's not an unreasonable thought like, ho, right? They are getting this terrible spade split. Pretty sure 5 spades is not the right spot for them. So you doubled, and it went pass, and West inevitably pulled it to 5 no trump.
Right. I remember very clearly that the tray came back from under the table. My jaw dropped almost. Like I was like, no. I forgot they can run to 5 no trump, because I was fairly certain that 6 of a minor wasn't going to make, like they just weren't going to have enough tricks. But I did not consider 5 no trump, and I was just like, okay, well, I should have passed 5 spades, but okay, it's fine. There'll be 660. It'll be fine. It'll be a push instead of being a positive, which is unfortunate, but I wasn't gonna dig my hole deeper by doubling what I think is now potentially just a making contract. When the tray came back, I was like, oh, partner has minor cards. Okay, maybe this will be okay.
I guess I kind of felt like if you were doubling 5 spades, like, how are we not beating 5 no trump?
I was 100% sure that the King of Hearts was with Declarer, and so I was not ever going to lead a heart, especially if that might be the 11th trick. Decided that the 10 doubleton was slightly superior to the small doubleton, just in case you had like Queen Jack X or something.
Declarer played the queen. I had to cover, right? And they won the 8. And he played the 10 of spades, which you duck. And I probably played like the Jack of hearts or something. And then you split here. But now he can just knock out your Jack, right? And now he can't afford to play diamonds. He just has to get the clubs right. If he gets the clubs right, he has 11 tricks. And if he gets them wrong, he's like not taking any more tricks. And he thought about this for a while and said, well, he must have the queen of clubs for this double. And so he played it here and obviously got it wrong.
Yeah.
And the heart came back. We got something like 1,400.
Yeah.
It was our best board of the event. We won 16 imps. It was like a 30 imp swing on guessing the queen of clubs, right? So we talked about why this double was so bad. The fact that they could easily have 11 tricks in the minors. Partner's a white against red first seat preempt. If he has Jack 10 7, East isn't going to have any hearts. It's possible you have 2 trump tricks and that's in their making 5 spades. If they're not, like, you have a plus score that you don't want to jeopardize. And, I think that the error in thinking here was like, our preempt worked, they're in the wrong spot, got them. And, I mean, you said, I didn't think there was anywhere they could run. But, like, they were in 3 no trump a minute ago. Okay, you have the spades somewhat locked up. But, if there's ace, king, 10, 6th or whatever, you telegraph the position, he can pick the whole thing up. And if he just has 11 tricks in the minors, like this 3 no trump is often based on king of hearts and a running minor.
Exactly.
So the initial thought was a good one. Preempted, they are in the wrong spot. We got them. But then it's like, don't take points off the scoreboard. Don't be too greedy here. Like 100 could be a really good score, right? If it's 100 into 630 or something. So what were some of your other takeaways here?
I think that's like the main takeaway. It's not clear that five spades is necessarily going down. Let's not forget that five spades was bid directly over three no trump. This is a slam try. We talked before, the match about our preempt style and agreeing that white versus red, we are going to be very aggressive. So it was not out of the question here that you could just have jack seventh and out. The two things that I should have stopped to think about were, how many tricks do I actually have? And don't just assume that the ace of hearts is cashing. And the second thing is just look at the bidding box and be like, can you defeat every bid that they can run to? It was a blind spot on this hand. Now that this has happened, it's funny. Usually you remember the bad result and you're like, I'm never going to let that happen again. This was ironic because it was actually a very good result on paper, but I'm also not going to forget the mistake I made here and hope to not repeat it again.
Yeah, that's a really important takeaway, is that just because you made a mistake doesn't mean you're going to get a bad result. And I always tell people, like, when you're going back and looking at hands, don't just look at the low scores, look at the high scores too. If you're 170 on a hand and all the good players in the room are 140, you probably played the hand wrong and it just worked out. The one other thing we haven't talked about that's relevant here is the double going to lead them in the right direction to make a contract that they would not have otherwise made? The double tips off the spade position. Just looking at this spade layout, there are worlds where they just play ace king and hope that an honor falls. It could be they could run, but it could also be, all right, I was setting five spades undoubled and they're making five spades doubled because I've squealed the position.
I remember at the time, I sort of vaguely thought about it and thought, they're going to finesse me anyway, partner preempted, but like not really considering that it's not just about finessing me. It's that if they know that I have 4 or 5 spades, they might need to set up a trump coup position, which they wouldn't otherwise.
I mean, often you just play the hand totally different, knowing that the trumps are splitting badly. And it can change the odds in other suits, right? Like they might play me for length in a minor.
Exactly. I take the club finesse the right way.
Yeah, exactly. So, squealing that can be really costly.
The double dummy analysis has them make it 5 spades.
Yeah, I mean, in 5 no trump, we only got one spade trick. We have a heart trick, a spade. They're on the same club guess. They need the diamond finesse, and then they need the club guess. So this is board 3.
Yeah.
And we turn minus 850 into plus 1400. So a bad decision that resulted in a good result. Some really interesting takeaways here. We hope you join us for the next one.